Well, good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Scar. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our call-in number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing *6. It's very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. Okay, well, welcome. I'm happy to have everyone with us today. I will let you know we do not have Commissioner Fournier this morning. He had a conflict. So how about Commissioner Bell? Are you with us this morning? Okay, not seeing or hearing her. It looks like you get just me. I will keep my eye out in case she pops on. Okay, so with that, we're going to jump right in and hear from Adventist Health Tillamook with Eric Swanson. Eric.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
What a beautiful day, huh? Glad to be back this morning. Got 10 patients in the hospital today, 8 surgery cases scheduled. Our ambulance crews did 7 911 transports yesterday, 2 transfers, no transports home. 89 patients in hospital emergency departments across Oregon. That's 7 less than yesterday. 299 patients who are discharge delays. That's no change from yesterday. A couple things happen around the hospital today. Our surgery project is moving full steam ahead. If you haven't been on the campus, be careful in the back. There's restricted areas where you can't drive or walk. The construction crews from Skanska started to remove the facade from the building. So there's the old brick that was put on this building in 1947, 1948. Some of it is gone. And they also put a covered walkway for the employee entrance so we can continue to use the east employee entrance without risking something falling on our heads as we're coming to or from work. So that's what they're doing currently. And so we're excited to see that project move forward. I had an email yesterday from DCI. They reported that they have submitted all the necessary or all the required drawings to the OHA so they can do their final plans review. Don't know how long that will take, but it continues to move forward. The OHA is now required to report weekly to the governor's office and others on the status of this reopening of dialysis in Tillamook. So that's a good thing. And I can't thank Senator Weber, Representative Javity for their tireless efforts to get this moving forward and get dialysis back open. So it's in the hands of the OHA, so we wait. I also will be meeting with a representative from Senator Merkley's office on Thursday, and I'm sure that's one of the topics that'll come up. While they have little pull when it comes to, with the OHA, I think Weber and Javity have much more sway when it comes to OHA than a federal senator. I'm sure that the senator's office is going to want to know about it. And last thing, Kerry Heinrich, who's the CEO of Adventist Health, will be on our campus today. He is on a tour to see all 27 hospitals across Oregon, California, and Hawaii. And I think the Pacific Northwest is his last stop on his tour. So he will be here on campus hosting a town hall at lunchtime, and then we'll be out visiting our associates and caregivers in the clinics and in the hospital this afternoon. So we're excited to host him today. So with that, unless you've got questions for me, I'll go back on mute.
Thank you, Eric. Anybody have any questions for Eric? I'll just say fingers crossed and staying hopeful for the dialysis center. I know my husband who drove Dial-A-Ride took, I think he said 4 people to Forest Grove yesterday. So I know those 4 people will be very excited to no longer have to take that ride. So fingers crossed that OHA can move quickly.
And I think that this is good, and thank you for reminding me of that, Commissioner. I think that it's really important that we also recognize the great work that the Transportation District has done. Through their Dial-A-Ride, Rideshare, Northwest Rides, I don't know what their org structure is for it, but they have been an important partner in making sure these patients get served. And like you said, traveling back and forth to Forest Grove every day, or Lincoln City, or Astoria, or wherever it is, that takes a toll on that service as well. So I just want to say thank you to our friends at the Transportation District for the great work that they've done.
Thank you. Thank you. We did that as well at our commissioner meeting. I think as a small community, it's good for us to recognize the many services that are working together in a coordinated effort to take care of people who need it here in our community. So thank you for that. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will go ahead and move on. I do not see either Senator Weber or Representative Javity with us today, which does not surprise me. I know that there is a lot of work being done in Salem right now. The deadline for public hearings for bills has come and gone. They had to be scheduled, and then they had to also have a work session scheduled. So in a public hearing, they take testimony. In a work session, they make a decision about whether or not to move a bill forward. So they are all, I think, pedaling as fast as they can over there to try to get through this unheard of number of bills at the state level. So we will just keep right on trucking through our list. So I believe next is Ed Colson with the Tillamook County Community Health Center.
Yep, that's correct. Ed with the Health Department here, Commissioner.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning. Good morning, Tillamook County. Well, new cases of the flu, RSV, and COVID are still being reported in Tillamook County. While spring break entails fun gatherings and travel, quite a few people may return to their daily lives after the break, feeling a little under the weather, having contracted a cold, flu, or COVID. So while the viruses are still active in our community, you can still benefit from receiving the flu and COVID vaccines. We also recommend patients to speak with their medical provider to see if getting the 24-25 COVID vaccine, the flu, or MMR vaccine is in their best interest. Patients may also give us a call at 503-842-3938. We'd also like to remind residents that free COVID test kits are still available for the public at Tillamook Public Health Office and all county libraries. Now today, April 1st, is Take Down Tobacco Day, which is a national day of action to come together to stand up to big tobacco and expose the tricks the industry uses to lure kids into nicotine addiction and call for change. Tobacco companies are marketing deadly and addictive products. They are fighting policies that would reduce tobacco use and developing new products to entice children using fun flavors and large doses of nicotine. Well, we aren't fooled. Join us this April Fool's Day to take down tobacco. To learn more how you can get involved, please go to takedowntobacco.org. Now, as was brought out, it's a beautiful day outside. Spring is beautiful, but it's also a key time of year for seasonal allergies. As plants release pollen, millions of people with hay fever start to sniffle and sneeze. Pollen isn't the season's only trigger. With spring rain, there's more mold inside and outside your home, especially in humid environments like the county. Spring cleaning may stir up dust mites throughout the house as well. So if you suffer from allergies, be sure to do what you can to reduce your exposure by staying indoors during days with high pollen counts. Replace the air filters in your home. Vacuum at least twice a week. Clean surfaces where pollen can collect. Wash your face and hair if you spend time outdoors, and change your clothing afterwards. There are many over-the-counter medications for seasonal allergy relief, including nasal sprays, oral medication, and eye drops. For more severe reactions or related asthma, be sure to speak to your doctor for an updated prescription for the appropriate medication for your allergies before you need it. Now, in health promotion, each April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. To start raising awareness, April 1st is the SAM Day of Action. The Day of Action is a way for all to get involved by starting the month off with highly visible and coordinated actions by wearing teal. Chances are someone in your life is a survivor of sexual harassment, assault, or abuse, even if they've never shared their story with you. Show your support for survivors of sexual harassment and abuse by wearing teal, the color of sexual violence prevention, on April 1st. By wearing teal, you signal that you support survivors and are safe to talk to if they need to reach out. Throughout this month, we'll be providing information and resources on social media and in our clinic. And to learn more, we encourage you to visit the National Sexual Assault Resource Center, nsvrc.org. And lastly, Tillamook County Community Health Centers is reviewing the most recent round of federal funding cuts and working to determine the resulting impacts, if any, on our program. And that is our health department update.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate the information. Any questions for Ed this morning? Not hearing any. Once again, we'll thank you, and we will go ahead and move on. Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Frank Hanna Williams.
Yes, just had to take care of the going off mute there. Frank Hanna
Always
Williams,
takes a little time.
Yes, Frank Hanna Williams, Director of Tillamook Family Counseling Center and Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. I'd like to just briefly echo what Ed spoke about. We are also in the process of reviewing what could be the potential impact of some of the federal cuts on some of our programming, and having completed that review, but doing it in connection with other community mental health programs that are in Oregon as well. So we will continue to take a close look at the impact of that. 503-842-8201 is our number. Our number beyond that is 1-800-962-2851. And if you have needs for information, concerns about appointments, would like to make an appointment, questions about any of our programming, please call. And also wanted to say that we're going to just a little bit of a disruption, not too much, I don't think. We are at our 904 site, which is on Main Avenue, right across from our main office at 906. Over the next few weeks, we're going to have a roof replaced at our 903 site, and also a little bit of work at the 906 site to repair a leak that has been problematic over a number of years. I think we finally have a path forward to repair that for good, and it may be a little disruptive in the on Main Avenue. So just be careful about that. But those are some things that we're moving ahead with. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them and take any questions.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions for Frank this morning? Not hearing any. We will go ahead and move on to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Brown.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning. We can.
So I changed up the stats that I have been reporting each month. Instead of reporting for the single month of March, I thought I would tally up for the first quarter of 2025. So the stats I'm going to give you this morning are from January, February, and March, all combined. For those 3 months, we handled 4,235 calls for service. We had 68 alarm calls that we responded to. Property-related crimes, burg, theft, or trespass, we had 108 calls for service on those. We had 112 CAMI calls, which is a reminder, CAMI is child abuse or child neglect type calls. We responded to 88 disturbances. We had 19 missing person or search and rescue calls. Motor vehicle accidents or recreational accidents in the first 3 months of the year, we responded to 89. We had 2 water rescues, which I put that stat on there, even though it's a very low number. We like that number to be low. We want people to be safe, so having that low of a number is a good thing. So that's why I wanted to share that. The Sheriff's Office prepared from those calls 206 criminal cases that would have been forwarded to the District Attorney's Office. 69 arrests were made. The proactive policing or self-initiated activity, I like to share those as well. We did 266 business checks. We had 670 traffic stops. and we attempted 434 civil services. So what I did, rather than comparing to the 3 months of last year, what I did is just to kind of show a stark difference. I compared it to June, July, and August of last year. So it's not a straight comparison, but it does show the uptick in calls in the summer as tourism increases. So during that time frame, June, July, and August of 24, we had 5,689 calls for service. That is an increase of about 26% for the same 3 months or 90-day period or so. Just a couple other ones. We increased to 108 disturbance calls from 88 in this slower time of year. We had 159 motor vehicle accidents or recreational accidents. That's almost double, not quite, but close. We had 330 criminal cases written and sent over to the district attorney's office. We made 120 arrests. And again, that number is close to double, almost there. Another interesting one is on the self-initiated or proactive. The traffic stops decreased to 622. The reason for that is because we're busy chasing calls. Our call volume increases. We have less time to do that proactive policing because we're busy responding to calls and writing reports that go with those calls, etc. So just thought that would be interesting numbers to share. Not stat related, we welcomed a new employee to our patrol division. He's in training right now. It's been a couple weeks, I believe, that he's been here. We're excited to have him on board and get him through the training process. We're going to have another patrol deputy graduating the academy very soon, so we're excited about that for him to be able to continue his training. I recently had a sheriff's interview, which is the final step in the hiring process, with a new records clerk. We're actually hoping that she can start within the next week or two, and we're excited to have her on board. So that's, and then also we'll have some openings coming up. If they're not already open, we should have quite a few openings coming up. So if you're interested or know somebody that is interested, let them know that those openings should be happening soon. As most people are aware, our search and rescue banquet is coming up on April 12th. We're just under 2 weeks away from that. We're preparing. We've got over 130 donations at this point. We've got lots of sponsorships. It's going to be a really good and fun event. We've added raffle prizes and free carnival style games where people can win more tickets for the raffles. So that'll be exciting. So hope to see everybody there. And the last thing I want to mention is we're going to be hosting our first annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 19th, which is the week after the search and rescue banquet. Day before Easter on a Saturday, 9 a.m. here at the sheriff's office in the big field. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to have, this is in partnership with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Foundation, and it's sponsored by TLC Credit Union. So we're excited for those partnerships. We're excited that it'll be a fun morning. Hopefully the weather will hold. We'll have lots of eggs to find, and we hope that everybody can join. Follow our Facebook page, and we're going to have posts up pretty soon about that. So hopefully everybody can join us. With that, I can answer any questions, but that's my report.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for the sheriff this morning? Okay, well, thank you for the stats, and I appreciate you comparing them to summer when we have tourists here in greater numbers. I think that, we all know that intuitively, that our calls go up and that this need for services go up, but to have the data behind it is super helpful. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, with that, we will go ahead and keep moving. We have emergency management. We have Ann Moorhead with us today. Good morning, Ann. I can see you lighting up your square, but I can't hear you. So I'm not sure if there's something.
Sorry about that.
There you are.
Yay. Thank you. I just came on to give my last reminder about Preparedness in Action. That's our emergency preparedness event that we are putting on with City of Tillamook's Police Department. It is happening tomorrow at the Tillamook Main Library in the Hatfield Room between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. It is a free event open to the general public, looking to raise awareness around emergency management and encourage people to get involved. We will be having first responders from the local police department, as well as community volunteers throughout the county there to talk to you, answer any questions, as well as an opportunity to learn more about how you can get prepared by creating a go bag, creating a plan for your family, and just learning more about the risks you may face in Tillamook County. So it's a great opportunity to not only learn about emergency preparedness, but get some slices of some free pizza donated by Domino's, and enter into a raffle to win your very own go bag. Very exciting, and I hope you will all join us in the library tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds like a fabulous event. And I think we are consistently being reminded by different emergencies that are happening across the state and nation that you want to be prepared. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen. I think in Tillamook County, we're kind of used to that because it comes at all sorts of odd times. But I was just thinking about Eastern Oregon right now, which is suffering with some very significant flooding like they haven't seen in 50 or more years. So just always good to be prepared for whatever may come along.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on. This is our first Tuesday of the month, so we have the Oregon Department of Transportation, Bill Jablonski with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Commissioner Scar. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And hello from sunny Astoria. What I'd like to do is just do a couple of updates on active construction projects from the county, cover some projects that are still actively in design, and then also I have some maintenance updates for the folks on the call as well. So on the active construction projects, we still have Miami Foley Road repairs for Dry and Crystal Creek bridges. ODOT is delivering those on behalf of the county, and we also have an active construction on US 101 through the city of Garibaldi. Just to let folks know that we are going to be intentional. There is some conflicts between those two construction sites with paving and several closures, single lane closures be done. And so we're going to be ahead of that and letting the public know when those closures can be expected and what the possible detour routes or timing might look like. So stay tuned. I'll have more information probably next month on as we get closer to those impacts between Garibaldi and Miami Foley Road. Also on Oregon 6, Devil's Lake Fork Wilson River Bridge, we have a structural repair and painting project on that bridge, about mile point 32 on Oregon 6. That goes to bid this month, and we expect the contractor to be underway mid-summer and then into the fall for doing those repairs and also the painting. Most of the work will be done underneath the structure, so we won't have a lot of impacts Oregon 6 this summer, other than some temporary impacts with the contractor staging and such going on and off the structure, so we'll see some of that. On Oregon 131, we have another coating project at the Tillamook River Bridge, about mile point 4, so just east of town of Tillamook City. That project, the contractor is underway under contract. We're expecting to get his submittals as well as the detour plans for what that looks like for a single lane closure on that bridge starting here probably next month. Next month will be a good time for me to update the community as well to let folks know what the detour route looks like and when the signage and such will be up for that. On the design side, we're still moving forward with several projects on Oregon 6. The Oregon 6 barrier upgrade project. That's the barrier upgrades from Tillamook to the city of Banks, the whole length of Oregon 6. Those barrier upgrades are both sides of the highway, so we consider it 100 miles worth of improvements. That's a cost of $10 million. And just to let folks know that the barrier upgrades are not just on the travel side that keeps your car, in your lane or not leaving the highway. It also acts as a catchment for some of the slide debris that comes down off of our travel way, so it keeps those rocks and debris from entering the roadway as well. So it's a multi process there on that barrier and multi-use of the use of the barrier. That's going to go to bid here this fall, and so that's really good fall, winter work, and then coming spring work at 26 to complete those 50 miles, or what they call 100 miles worth of barrier upgrades along Oregon 6. Also in Oregon 6, we're going to do some paving from mile point 4.4 to 9.0. That's going to be a 26 paving project, so it'll be next summer when we'll see impacts to Oregon 6 during the summer paving season. And of course, my number one for the county is Oregon 6 at Wilson River Loop Road. That's still under active design, still funded, and expected to go to construction a year from now. And we'll see some more movement on that as we get closer and let folks know what to expect and when the contractor would be able to mobilize at that location. Let's see, what else do I have to do? Oh, this month on April, my cheat sheet out here, on Thursday, April 10th, we're having the Northwest Oregon Area Commission of Transportation. They meet 6 times a year, so every other month. And our April location is going to be in Seaside at the Clatsop Community College South County campus, right there on Roosevelt Drive. We also have a remote option as well, too. I will send, the agenda comes out this Thursday, a week ahead of time. So when I get the agenda and that link to the meeting, I will forward it to the county for their use to share on what that looks like for them. And please join us and listen in or participate if you so will. And with Commissioner, with that, that's my end of my report.
All right, thank you. Lots of things happening with ODOT. I know the question is for me and a lot of Tillamook County, been a lot of movement on Highway 6 in the slide area this winter, and I know you guys have done your very best to keep up with it. Is it moving more than normal or more than the past, or does it just seem to feel that way?
It's very active. It does move on a weekly basis. So we're out there every week, fussing with the gaps or the cracks that show up and just doing the best we can to hold it together, like we've been doing for the last decade or so on that area. Part of our barrier project will go through that area. Not that the barrier project is going to fix the slide movement of it, but we'll be able to hold back some of that debris that comes maybe uphill from the slide area onto the travel lane. So that would help with some of the safety concerns about roads or rocks showing up the roadway at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when people aren't, it's a little dark outside.
Sure. All right. And I would say to everyone who's listening and who's thinking, why aren't you fixing this? What I will let them know is that there is a transportation package that is being created right now in the legislature. And our very own Senator Weber is part of the transportation committee in the legislature this year. So if you are having concerns about things related to our roadway, and that slide as one of the examples, please reach out to Senator Weber and let her know that you believe that should be a priority and that in the bill somewhere, it should be called out as a special project to be worked on. So I just appreciate Bill being with us. I know, Bill, you are the face of ODOT in our community. You take a lot of the flack, I'm sure, for many of the things that you simply are not funded and staffed to do, such as a huge fix on that particular section. But I do encourage people to reach out to Senator Weber. She is our link to hopefully getting something in this bill to create a better fix than paving every week.
Well, thanks, Commissioner, for that. I appreciate the heads up on that as well.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for being with us, Bill. We appreciate it. Okay, and we're going to move on. All right. I have asked Treasurer Blanchard, who is with us today, if she'd like to share as we are heading into budget season. So, Commissioner Blanchard, or Commissioner, Treasurer Blanchard.
Good morning, Commissioner Scar.
Good morning.
So we are in the midst of budget season. The requested budget has been posted. It is a very fluid document at this point. Budget workshops start next week with a wonderful committee that has volunteered their service to work us through our budget to get adopted by July 1. I will say that most all departments were very conservative as they've seen what's been going on around the state and in other states with budget shortfalls. We've been working over the last year to offset and mitigate those going forward so that we can maintain our current services and hopefully expand on services for our community and our county. I will also say we had a successful bond sale last week. So looking forward to the radio project that will be taking place over the next couple of years. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Do you have any questions for me?
Perfect. Thank you. I don't have any questions for you today, although I'll be in your office later with all my weird nitty-gritty questions for the budget. But I do invite the public to take a look at those documents. I think it's 163 pages long, so it can feel a little daunting, but don't hesitate to reach out if you would like to have someone talk with you a little bit about it. Obviously, Treasurer Blanchard is the expert in this area. Your commissioners can also talk to you and listen to you about what your areas of concern and that you would like to have as part, brought into this budgeting process. So again, it's your county. This budget is your tax dollars at work. So please don't hesitate to become a part of the process. Thank you. I appreciate you being with us this morning, Sean.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, we will move on to the Board of Commissioners, which today is me. So I will just run through a couple things quickly here. We've talked about the budget and the budget hearings. So Friday I was over in Salem for the Salmonberry Trail Intergovernmental Agency meeting. For those of you who've been following the trail know that the prime focus of that particular group was to get the railway rail banked and then to get this process kicked off to build a trail. That particular structure will sunset in the next year. And so there's been an active process to determine if that structure was the right structure to support the construction of the trail. And we are looking at adjusting that structure so that the trail lease, which is currently held by STIA, would move to Oregon State Parks so that we have a strong existing backbone to hold the lease for us, which is what gives us the rail banking opportunity. And then to have the ownership bodies and local, I guess we'd say local support and expertise, of which Tillamook County is one of those, to be what we would call a sponsor committee, and that we would stay very actively engaged. We would still have responsibility to review each section and who may be working to build it before it gets built, and stay very actively involved. But the Oregon State Parks becomes the backbone. So that has not been determined for sure yet, but that is the process we're in. We have all said conceptually we're interested in moving that forward, and now we have a contract that is being created that would come and work between parks and the sponsoring agencies, just to really clearly lay out who does what. And that will be the driving force for Tillamook County as to whether this is the right structure or not. Will be, what is it that we are committing to? What is it that we are committing perhaps others in our communities to? So stay tuned, more to come. I expect we will have another STIA meeting probably May or June to take a look at that document. And see if, in fact, moving forward in this direction is the right way. Also at that meeting, it's just exciting to hear the updates from all of the different sections that are actively being worked on right now. I know that we have Rockaway with us today, so I will let them share anything that they would like to, but they were at the meeting with us. It was great to see them there. We had the mayor, the city councilor, Mary McGinnis was with us. So it was great, a great group to talk to their piece of the project. Also work being done in Wheeler, conversations being had in Bay City, conversations being had around the creamery section. So lots of good stuff happening on the Tillamook County side. Saturday, I spent the day up at the Jones Creek Day Use area in the Tillamook State Forest. There was a trail clearing day that happened with some wonderful trail organizations. I was able to welcome them to the event and then go back and prep and serve them lunch. So I didn't actually get out on the trail myself on Saturday, but there were about 80 people that did, and they worked on different sections of that Wilson River Trail from Jones Creek, I believe, all the way up to Kings Mountain. So a lot of good work was done to get ready for everybody to get out there and get hiking this spring. So the Department of Forestry has a very small recreation, education, and interpretation department. I believe their trails folks are about 4 people, so there is not very many. And the volunteer work that happens through Trail Keepers of Oregon, this was the I think it was the Willamette Trail Alliance. So there were a number of groups that were part of this that are really key to keeping those trails updated. So I encourage people, if you are a trail enthusiast, to look up Trail Keepers of Oregon. They are a statewide organization that does trail maintenance, and they do it in the state parks. They do it obviously on the Department of Forestry land, a variety of other places. And you can get involved and be part of that volunteer movement to keep our trails open and accessible. So encourage you to do that. Coming up this week is the Housing Commission meeting on Thursday. But before that, at our meeting tomorrow on Wednesday, we will have the presentation to the commissioners of the 2024 Housing Production Solutions Fund allocations from the Housing Commission. We'll have their recommendations for the commissioners to act on. So this will allow you, if you're interested in watching, to see what the projects were that applied, that were recommended for funding, and for how much funding. So that's tomorrow. And then on Thursday, the Housing Commission will follow up to that by really looking at the process from this year to see if in fact there are changes they would like to put into the process for the next cycle of funding. So if you're interested in housing in Tillamook County, 2 different spaces and ways to learn and get involved. So hopefully we'll see some of you or hear from some of you in those meetings. Would love to do that. Okay, with that, I am going to go ahead and move us on to the cities. And I think we have Linda Kozlowski with us from the city of Manzanita, perhaps. No, we have Mayor Stocks. No, we have Linda. Trying to track phone numbers here. So Linda, I can see you. I can't hear you, and you appear to be off mute. You're off mute, Linda. You want to try? See if we can hear you? Okay, I can't hear you. So I know you're there, but I can't hear you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on to Rockaway Beach, and I will circle back to you and see if you are able to solve the microphone problem. So we have Mayor Charles McNeely with Rockaway. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Technology, it's not always our best friend.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, let me begin by simply say that our new city planner, Wes Wooten, starts today, and our current city planner, Mary Mertz, formerly Johnson, will begin her transition to her new role as Public Works Director. We've got a lot of exciting things going on here in Rockaway Beach, and having these 2 individuals in their new positions is going to really help move our city forward. Tillamook Coast Visitors Association is hosting founding owner of Empowering Access, Ashley Schaefer, to lead a disability outdoors session. The event is scheduled for April 4th, this Friday, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Rockaway Beach City Hall. I look forward to attending this. I think it's going to be a really informative 2 hours for those that attend. Last Wednesday, we got our first look at the initial rankings for this year's Community Paths funding. This is an ODOT grant program Rockaway Beach applied to for Cemetery Trail construction funds. Unfortunately, it looks like the only projects to be funded in our ODOT region are slated to be awarded to Lane County and the city of Eugene. While this is just a preliminary ranking, it's unlikely to change. We're going to continue working on the planning and design, and we'll look for the next opportunity to get this wonderful project built. As I may have mentioned, we're at 30% design. We're really looking to move this to the point of being shovel ready as we continue to look for funding. And yes, Councilor McGinnis and I had the pleasure to attend the Cemetery Trail Intergovernmental Agency Board meeting and got a chance to say hello to Commissioner Scar and others there. It was a great opportunity to share the progress that Rockaway Beach had made, and it was really informative to learn about the new proposed organization structure, which I I fully endorse. And as it moves forward, I look forward to Rockaway Beach continuing to work closely with Tillamook County as the sponsor of the trail through Tillamook County. I do have some good news in the funding arena. The OWEB technical team met and published funding recommendations. Our $1.4 million request made it on the list as recommended for funding. The OWEB board will make final awards in April. This is particularly good news for us because of our interest in acquiring the Jetty Creek watershed, and this is a piece of the funding puzzle. And then last, I just want to mention that we've marked the 5th year anniversary for Fire Chief Hesse here in Rockaway Beach. City Manager Shepard talks about how he sat through interview after interview as the city searched for our first full-time fire chief. And just after a few minutes with Hesse, he knew right away we'd found our new fire chief. Chief Hesse says he's enjoyed the challenge, feels at home here, loves the support of the city, employees, council, and community, and knows that coming here was the best decision he has ever made. Chief Hesse went on to say he looks forward to the future and continued growth of our emergency services. Chief Hesse, thank you for your stellar service to our community and the surrounding communities. And with that, I will kick it back to you, Commissioner Scar.
Thank you. Appreciate all the good information. Okay, we're going to circle back to Manzanita and see if Councilor Kozlowski was able to get a microphone working.
I think I have. Can you hear me?
You
now?
have, I hear you. Wonderful, welcome.
Thank you so much. I just want to make a couple of comments. I'm just so thrilled with the progress that has been made on the Salmonberry Trail. Commissioner Scar, with your leadership, it's been just exceptional, and it's really wonderful to hear what Rockaway is doing. So we really appreciate all the work that you're doing on that project. I think it's an excellent project. In terms of Manzanita, we are in the process of reviewing our short-term rental ordinance. We've extended a cap on the short-term rental ordinance until the council can review the recommendations from the short-term rental committee. I think that's going to happen fairly soon, so we're looking forward to some of the changes that will happen. We're making progress on our Classic Street Road upgrade. It's part of the infrastructure that we need for our affordable housing project, and we're really delighted. It's just really important to the community because it's a walkway. It's a place that the community uses a lot, and it will be a much safer road once we get the upgrade done. City Hall construction is on time and on budget, and we should be moving in May, which is, after the many years of our work on this project, is really exciting. We've extended our moratorium on dune grading until completion of our updated comprehensive plan, which is moving forward with great speed and with strong support from our community. We're really excited about that project. We are also working with Oregon State Parks to make a rule change preventing cars on the beach during the summer months, again, responding to some significant concern from our community. And lastly, but very important, our Planning Commission regular meeting has been moved from April 14th to the 21st at 4 p.m., and the Zoom topics will be on our housing ordinance changes. So that's the report from Manzanita, and I appreciate your patience with the process.
Thank you, Linda. We appreciate you being with us. And yes, technology is great when it works.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to Bay City. I believe we have Mayor Leanne Welch with us.
Good morning, Commissioner Scar. This is Mayor Welch, and hopefully you can hear me.
Good morning, we can.
Good. Well, first off, I would like to thank our city manager, David McCall. I was out of town last week doing some vacationing, and he went to Astoria to the Ways and Means Committee and proposed our sewer lift station, or advocated for a sewer lift station, would support housing development here in Bay City. So he said that was the packed room and everybody was up there with their hands out. And anyways, I'm hoping that we will be successful with that. Our next city council meeting will be a week from today, Tuesday, April 8th at 6 p.m. at the Bay City City Hall. Dr. Reed from the Neoconi School District will be presenting on their upcoming operating levy. So anybody that doesn't even live in Bay City would like to join us and listen to him, you are welcome. We're also going to be continuing discussion on our water and sewer rates. And hopefully the council will make a decision at that time, which also leads us into our budget season. So working on that. And then this is the first time, and hopefully not the last, you're going to hear about our April 26th State of the City at City Hall from 2 to 4. That'll be Saturday, April 26th. And we'll be presenting about infrastructure, what's going on in our planning department, what is going on with our parks, what's going on with our strategic planning efforts. And so we invite all to our April 26th meeting. And with that, that's Bay City's report today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Okay, moving on to the city of Tillamook. We have interim city manager Kevin Perkins.
Good morning, everybody. Just a couple of announcements from us. First of all, we've got our first interviews for the permanent city manager coming up on this Friday. So hopefully next week we'll be able to announce our finalists. As with everybody else, we're working on our budget for the next year. We do have some openings on our budget committee, so residents of the city of Tillamook, if you're interested in being a part of that, please reach out to either your city councilor or to City Hall to find out how to volunteer with our budget committee. And then finally, we're having a Neighborhood Watch kickoff meeting on Monday from 5:30 to 7 at the Dutch Mill Cafe. So if you're interested in hearing what Neighborhood Watch is all about and getting involved, please come down. That'll be hosted by Chief Troxel and Councilor Nick Torres. They'll be able to answer questions you've got and really dive into getting Neighborhood Watches organized in each of the different wards. And that is all I have for today.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, we are all excited for the hiring process for the new city manager, and we look forward to that meet and greet when it happens. And then, of course, the Neighborhood Watch. I know that people have been asking for many years about if we could have a Neighborhood Watch, so I'm sure that that will be a well-attended event. Okay, that brings us to the end of our list. And so I would just like to thank KTIL for broadcasting. I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:47 a.m. Thank you, and have a fabulous sunny day.